Alright, so for those of you who don't know, Luka Doncic just got traded for Anthony Davis. What? The hell? I was sitting just doing homework, and I saw, funny enough, a YouTube video from Johnny Arnett, great YouTuber, basketball YouTuber, would recommend him to anyone, saying the craziest trade ever. And I thought maybe he would go back and just recap the Paul George SGA trade. I mean, a myriad of other trades. KG Paul Pierce trade. You get the idea. Then he says that Luka Doncic was just traded for Anthony Davis. I thought it was fake. I thought this was a joke. I thought this was just for shits and giggles. Then I go to Twitter, X, which, I try not to support, obviously, but, it's where most of the NBA information is still, so, fingers crossed Blue Sky gets in on it soon, but I go to ESPN, and it says the same, and I'm like, ESPN must have been hacked, there's no way. I go to Shams, it says the same. I'm like, that's weird. It'd be crazy that both of them got hacked. Then I go to Windhorst. It says the same. Then I turn on ESPN. It says the same. I honestly would not be shocked if somehow this were just some, major hack, but the trade details are pretty simple. It's basically Luka Doncic to the Mavericks, to the Lakers with Maxi Kleber. The Lakers are sending Anthony Davis, Max Christie, a 2029 first-round pick. The Utah Jazz are getting Jalen Hood, Shafino, and 2 Lakers second-round picks. I think the Jazz might have just been in for contract. Not all the details are out yet. It'd be great as a Jazz fan if we just got 2 seconds in Jalen Hood, Shafino for free. But yeah, I'm as shocked as all of you guys, honestly. This is insane. So quick rundown. I don't really love the trade for either team, honestly. We know that Luka works best with another star. Obviously, great on his own. One of the best players, if not the best player in the league when healthy. I don't think that's an insane thing to say. I think at worst he's top 3 to 5. At best, he's right up there with Jokic. Honestly, Jokic and Giannis. But on the Lakers, does he fit? Here's the thing with Kyrie. We've seen him be willing to take a much more off-the-ball role. A lot less of a, single creator role, A1 or, the number 1 ball handler role, and kind of, defer that to Luka a bit. We saw Kyrie, become more of a catch-and-shoot shooter. We saw Kyrie, move off the ball more with, some cuts, some screens, some guard-to-guard screens. He really changed up his role from becoming, the number 1 guy at the ball in his hands to the number 2. And honestly, Kyrie was putting up some of the most efficient stats of his career. He was playing great. Defensively, he'd improved a lot since he was able to commit some more energy to defense. Turnovers were down. It was really good when Luka went out. Sorry for the uhs and the stutters. It's like midnight here. They always drop trades at the weirdest times. But I just don't get it, why the Mavericks would do this. I understand the idea that defense wins championships, but if defense wins championships, maybe don't trade Luka, because, you need offense to win championships too. You just made it to the finals, and you pushed the Celtics to 5-6 games with Luka severely injured? Why would you do this? Why? Luka's only 25. He's still on a pretty reasonable contract. Obviously, it expires at the end of this year, but that gives you some flexibility going to, into the trade deadline to trade for someone like a Jimmy Butler or just some defensive star. I saw rumors for a Jared Vanderbilt, I mean, there's rumors for everybody, but, you know, a defensive wing player, 3-and-D player, center depth, somebody to replace Gafford. I mean, just defense in all honesty, because we knew that the Mavs GM had that philosophy. But no. No. The Mavs GM said, let's trade a generational player for 31-year-old Anthony Davis. I mean, he's a glass cannon. Like, I don't think that's unfair to say. His injury history is a longer list than, I mean, Santa's. I don't know. There's some joke in there that I can't think of. But, like, it's not a great injury history. He hasn't shown he can stay healthy, and he's 31. I get it. He played a lot of games last year, but even he said that he played through a lot of injuries. Does he do that in Dallas? I mean, what does this mean for guys like Derek Lively's development? What does this mean for Daniel Gafford? What does this mean for PJ Washington? Does this just totally kill their offense? I mean, they don't really have many creators outside of Kyrie. Spencer Dinwiddie doesn't count. He does not. He's not very good anymore. Like, he's just not. Ideally, he's getting backup point guard minutes or no minutes. That's just where he's at in his career. Do they move on from Clay? I don't think Clay's very good anymore, but is Clay gone? I mean, why would you do this? Luka Doncic is a generational player. Not to say that AD isn't, but peak Luka is far better than anywhere Anthony Davis was. And I actually do like Anthony Davis. I think he gets a bit overrated at times, but I mean, he's about as good that you could hope for from a center. He's a center, not a power forward. I hate that bullshit. I know he said he wants to play power forward, but he's best at center. He can't shoot. He shoots like 20% from 3 and 30% outside the paint. He can't shoot. Anyways, but yeah, look, I mean, this just kills their offense. It's not like they had a great defense before. Signing Klay Thompson just kind of kills that. Losing Derek Jones kind of kills that. So, look, I just don't get it. I mean, I think this just totally kills their peak. I mean, they went from one of the greatest scoring backcourts to, dare I say, one of the greatest backcourts ever to 31-year-old Kyrie and 31-year-old AD. Two guys who are far from the pinnacle of health. Obviously, they'll fit together fine. I mean, AD's a decently versatile player. Like, give him enough spacing, he'll be fine. And, you know, Kyrie's a good point guard with good playmaking skills. They'll fit fine. But, I mean, does that elevate them more than Luka and Kyrie? I just don't get it. Why not get 2 first-round picks if you're the Mavericks? I mean, that value's not even close. I mean, if you're trying to trade for Luka in 2K, and I know 2K is far from the NBA, but I mean, this is one where you'd like need to give up all your seconds and firsts to get Luka, and you'd have to throw an 80 and maybe a Dalton Connect in there. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, hats off to Rob Pelinka for managing to pull this off. I would do this in a heartbeat. Any sane person would. But to the Lakers side now, I guess let's start from a depth point. Who's your center? Jackson Hayes, not a very good player. I know he had a big game out last time he played. Not a very good player. Not a good rim protector, good athlete, not a good finisher, not a good passer, not a very good screener. And look, obviously I know they're in the NBA, they're far better than me, they're far better than you or I. That doesn't necessarily mean they're good compared to other quality NBA players. That's just an opinion. I can be right or wrong, but statistically I'm right on this one. But anyways, like, outside of Jackson Hayes, who's their center? Does Christian Koloko start getting real minutes? I mean, he's young and still early into his development. He really hasn't played much, and when he's played, hasn't shown a ton. I mean, I don't get it. Do they have the assets to go and trade for another player or another center? Does Connect move? Does Reeves move at this point? Does LeBron move? I mean, like, just who knows? Like, if you were to say LeBron and Luka just got traded to the Wizards for Alex Sarr and Jordan Poole and Johnny Davis after getting a max contract extension, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, somehow Johnny Davis will get an extension. He wouldn't just have his option picked up, but yeah, I don't get it for the Lakers either. LeBron's what, 41? This might be it for him. This is probably his last year, or one of them. I mean, you maybe get 2-3 more years out of him. For all we know, he could go to Cleveland. He might go to wherever just Bryce is drafted coming up. It's a bit of a Hail Mary from the Lakers. I understand why they did it. I think it's a Hail Mary to get LeBron to stay, but it's a guy you can build around in the future with Luka, so I understand why they did that, but what assets do they have to help Luka? I mean, outside of LeBron and, as of 2-3 hours ago, AD, the team wasn't very good. Like, Rui Hachimura, not a good player. Jackson Hayes, not a very good player. Austin Reeves, severely overrated, but fine. Good player, good, decent scorer, decent passer to good passer on a good night. Cam Reddish, bad. Daily fantasy sports, meh. I don't know. This hurts their depth. Max Christie looked like he was really coming on. I like him a lot. I think he can be a good connector, good, 3-and-D type player, which, fine if they need to move off of him for Luka. I get it, but what is the fit like with LeBron and Luka? I mean, if there's two players that I had to say play, the most similar, or like the two players I had to say are basically the same at this point, it's probably Luka and LeBron. LeBron's a much better driver than Luka is, but, I mean, they're sixes at finishing, honestly. Both can get to the rim probably equally as effective at this point. LeBron really can't get to the rim like he used to anymore. His explosiveness just isn't there. His first step, too. Luka can get there just through magic, basically. Ball handling skills, his strength, him kind of being a chunkier guy so he can get guys off the block. But I just don't... You have two guys who need the ball in their hands a lot. Two of the highest usage players in the NBA. Two guys who, I mean, let's be honest, haven't really shown they can work super well with other usage players. I mean, I know with LeBron, Kyrie, okay, they didn't really have any other usage players outside of him. Kevin Love at that point was kind of a spot-up rebounder, an elite one at that, but he didn't really have any creation role. He would just hit threes, be big, rebound, and pass. The Miami Heat, okay, I'll concede on that one. Early Cavs, it was just LeBron. I mean, I don't know. Luka, I mean, we saw this with Kyrie, that it worked, but also Kyrie took a huge step back in terms of usage. Is LeBron willing to do that? I mean, LeBron's been saying for years, and teams have, or like the Lakers, I guess I should say, have indicated for years that they want LeBron to take a step back. They want to bring his minutes down, they want to bring his usage down, and that hasn't happened. Be that a lack of talent, be that LeBron not be, willing for that to happen, that hasn't happened, so why would that happen now? I mean, how does this end up working with LeBron and Luka? I don't think Luka can play off ball at this point. I don't think he's shown a willingness to. Can LeBron? I mean, does LeBron play center? Does LeBron play more off ball? Does LeBron play more of a, cutter spot up type role, secondary creator? I don't know how this fits. I really don't think this helps either team in the immediate part. I mean, they need a center. They need more assets. They need depth, the Lakers. And they don't have the assets to get it. They have a first that, at this point, isn't going to be super valuable because we know Luka will sign a supermax there, which I believe he's still eligible to do even with a trade, but I just don't get it. I mean, who's the best they can get? They're not getting Walker Kessler. Let's not try that. The Jazz have no interest in trading Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler is an incredibly valuable player, one of the best, if not the best rebounder in the league. Probably the second best rim protector in the league outside of Victor. Not probably, statistically he is. The best offensive rebounder in the league. And it's his third year. Like, it's his third year. And he's shown big steps offensively. If he can get a three, he might be one of the best NBA centers. I don't know why I said NBA center, just centers. But, so I don't think he's gone. Mitchell Robinson is a name that I saw recently. Maybe? It depends on how the Knicks value him, but even if they trade him, they don't have any other centers outside of Cat. I mean, Jericho Sims and Precious, fine, but I don't think they value either of them particularly highly. I mean, Precious gets 12 minutes a game and just doesn't play great when he gets them. Jericho Sims honestly might be the worst NBA player in the NBA. But I don't know. Who do they get to replace Max Christie in that bench role? Does Cam Reddish fill in? I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Like, this, one of the few trades that have left me speechless. Another name I saw was Vooch. Maybe if the Bulls want contracts, I doubt that. I think they probably want more younger players and picks at this point. But who knows? I saw Jonas. I saw Clint Capella. Somebody threw out Onyeka Okongwu. That won't happen. But I don't. What do they do with the depth? Who else? Is Reeves gone? How much do they go into this win now idea? I mean, they kind of have to, but like, how far are they willing to go with this core of LeBron and Luka? I mean, who knows at this point? I wouldn't be surprised if we see another big move happen. I don't know with Jimmy, but I do think there's a chance that we could see, a LeBron on the move. I don't think Kyrie moves. I'm trying to think of other stars. A Zion, a Brandon Ingram, a Levine. Do I dare say an Embiid? It probably won't happen, but a Kevin Durant move, a Devin Booker move, like, this just kind of opens the floodgates. Another point I wanted to talk about is, why did the Mavericks, at least reportedly, only talk to LA? I guarantee you, 29 other teams, or 28, I guess, if you're excluding LA and Dallas, would have been willing to trade for Luka. Any. I mean, the Thunder would give him, 10 10, 20, 30 first-round picks. The Jazz, same. I mean, we don't need to go through every team, but, I mean, they could have gotten so much more for this. Or for Luka, not this. But, I don't know. If you guess defense wins championships, you're assuming your defense is the best in the NBA, and with that core, I don't think it is. Now that I think of it, Lively could move. I don't know if that happens, especially because he's so young, but, I mean, you have AD and Gafford. What's the point? I don't know. This feels like an indictment on Luka, too. All reports say that he's shocked that he got moved. AD's shocked that he got moved. But what does it say about Luka? I've been a big Luka defender. I love Luka. I think he's probably one of the best players in the NBA. I thought he, in all honesty, was the best offensive player in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA last year. I think he should have won MVP, but, it's neither here nor there. But, like, how bad was the locker room getting? How out of shape was he? Was he putting in the work to rehab? Was he willing to, stay in Dallas, sign that Supermax? I guarantee you he was. That's the most money he's going to get, and he showed no indications of leaving. But was there tension between him and Kyrie that we weren't seeing? Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I guess I know nobody's going to see this, but comment your thoughts. Who else do you think gets moved? Do we see LeBron move and just have them build around Luka, get as many assets as possible, and just try and compete around Luka? I mean, I don't think this is a competition-ready roster, but I think they believe they are. Did they move LeBron because he's probably about to retire? I believe he has a no-trade clause, but, I mean, I think he'll waive that if he goes somewhere positive. But, yeah. I guess let me know your thoughts. I don't love this for either team, honestly. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts. I apologize. I know this is rambly. Nobody's going to watch this, but I'm just shocked. I mean, this is probably the biggest trade in sports history. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts.